Hey everyone, welcome back. My name is Sam.
And I'm Melissa.
I grew up in the FLDS community, which is a polygamous group that Warren Jeffs is in charge of, and I moved out when I was 18 years old.
Yeah, today we wanted to answer some more questions that we've gotten a lot in the comments, and that is about how we're going to tell our children. We have a daughter and a son. Our little girl is 5 years old, and our son is 2 years old. And what we're going to tell them about our unique family dynamic, what we're going to tell them about their grandparents, and I guess kind of how transparent we're going to be. We've gotten a lot of questions kind of all
Yeah.
around that topic. So
Right.
we're going to kind of dive into that today.
How can we tell them so much information?
Yeah.
I think for those that are interested as well, we have been married for 7 years,
Yes.
and our oldest is 5 now. Our oldest is 5, and our youngest is 2. And so right now they're still at an age where they don't want to know everything about the family dynamic. They're not quite at that age yet.
Yeah, they're not asking questions really at this point. Like when they see someone, we're like, oh, this is grandma, grandpa. Like they know people's names, but when it comes to our family dynamic with them, they just have extras and extra love, which we think is awesome. So they have my parents, so they have grandma and papa, and they also have the family that took Sam in. Like that is our family. Okay,
Yeah.
we are treated just like family. They are a family to us, and so they have Gigi and Gpa,
Yeah, the relationship with
a relationship with them
Yeah.
as grandparents,
Mhm.
and then they also have, we call them grandmother and grandfather, which is Sam's biological
Yeah.
parents,
Exactly.
and they've met their grandfather
Yes.
before, because I know a lot of people have asked that question. So they've
They
met grandfather
briefly
before.
got to meet him, yes.
Yes.
They have not had a chance to meet their grandmother yet. And I don't know that they ever will. I'm crossing my fingers. I really hope they do at some point. Right now, in this very moment, it's not looking too promising, but we really hope someday they will be able to.
Yeah, someday we hope they'll be able to. But so for right now, when they did get to meet, we said, oh, this is your grandfather. And so, since they all have like their own different names too, that we call them, depending on like their preference and stuff, it makes it really easy. So they've never asked like,
Yeah.
oh, why do I have, they're not at an age to understand like, oh, I've met 3 grandpas, right? Or
right.
I have 3 grandmas, and they see pictures. We have pictures of Sam's biological parents,
Yep.
and so they know like what grandmother and what grandfather look like. And we also have pictures of Gigi and Gpa, and we have pictures of grandma and papa.
Yep.
And so they are at the point where they have no clue that it's not normal to have 3 sets of grandparents.
Right. It's normal to them, and it's important to us that we are as transparent as possible. As they get older, obviously we will tell them more. But I don't think we will ever hold anything back, especially if they come and ask us questions. Like everything else in life, I feel it's much better that they hear from us as opposed to finding out on their own or hearing from someone else. So we're just going to be as transparent as possible about everything, honestly.
Yeah, and to us, like, love and family, like, family is the people that you love and that you're close with. And so we have a lot of, friends that are like family as well, that, they call some of our good friends, kids, cousins, or like that's how I was raised, is that, family are people that you choose as well. So like growing up, I have people that I call aunts and uncles that aren't biologically related. So for me, it was never a big deal in like who's biologically related or who's not biologically related. Like to me, family is family. Like family is the people that you choose.
Yep.
And
well,
so
some family
yeah, I guess some family you're born
you were
into.
placed in, or you're born into. Another family you choose, and that's perfectly okay. And some people have family that they choose that they're closer to than the family that they're actually biologically related to. So it just depends on the family dynamic, but it's important for us at least, it's important for them to know and have good relationships with all of their family from every angle that you look at it.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for clarifying that. Yeah, because you are born into some. But yeah, so as far as that goes, I mean, that pretty much covers that. Another question that we get a little bit is how we're going to tell our kids about polygamy or about the religious aspects of their biological family.
Right.
And kind of like what Sam already said, it's just about being open and honest. And I think that being open and honest with them from a young age is going to make it, again, something that's not that odd, because they're just going to know about it from such a young age.
Right. And something that we've talked about that we plan on talking about them and telling them about all types of different beliefs and religions and everything. I mean, there's nothing, we're not going to try to hide anything from them, but we're also not going to try to force anything upon them. So that's kind of where we are a little bit more neutral, where we want them to understand where people are coming from. We want them to be able to respect people for their beliefs and how important their beliefs are to them. And so we want to be respectful, but we also want them to come to us with these questions and know that they're going to get a straight answer about it.
Yeah, exactly. And, you know, I know growing up where I was living close to the FLDS community, I just grew up knowing about polygamy and knowing about them. And so it wasn't odd when Sam told me he was from there.
Right.
And I feel like it's going to be really similar with our kids. Like, with us being open and honest with them about it, they're just going to grow up knowing that that's just how it was, and they probably won't think that it's odd or weird until they're older and realize that, like,
hey, wait a minute.
Oh, wait, other people's grandparents don't have 4 wives. Okay, maybe that makes it a little bit different, you know, but they're at such a young age right now where it's not going to
right at this point
be a big deal.
But we're open and we're excited, I guess you could say, to talk to them as they have more questions and as they get to the ages where they might want to know more about this. So I don't think it's going to be super complicated or difficult, just because we're not going to try to hide anything from them.
Yeah, and along with what you were saying about teaching them about all sorts of different religions and stuff too, I think that when it comes to a lot of the things that we've done, especially on this YouTube channel, is try to show people a little bit of the similarities of things they might be more familiar with, because it's so easy to like point out tons of differences with a community and be like, oh my gosh, that's just so crazy, or something. So, you know, and there's definitely a lot of unique, and Warren Jeffs has plenty of crazy for the whole community just in him, right? But really there's a lot of similarities too that we've heard from lots of people on our channel sharing, oh my gosh, this one thing sounds, you know, like the bread and milk, that sounds just like how I grew up in this. And there's just so many things that can like bring different communities and different religions have so many similarities. True. That I think focusing on that and saying, you know, oh, they practice polygamy, but these other religions also practice polygamy, or, you know, polygamy's happened in history here or here, and kind of explaining it so that it doesn't seem like such a automatically like negative thing. Right. You know, just showing that there's differences and there's also similarities.
Yeah. And like Melissa says, we definitely don't want to ever focus on the negative. That being said, we're not going to ignore the negative. For example, some people on this channel, some of our comments are telling us that, hey, why would you approve of what Warren Jeffs has done? Never have I ever said that. Never will I ever say that, because I absolutely don't approve of anything he's done as far as the evil things that he's done and the destroying that he's done to families. So, but it's we're not ignoring that. It's like we know it's there. We understand how bad some of the things were, but why focus on the negative? Why focus on him when we could focus on the whole community, as so many good people that live out there, and they just happen to be affected by the bad things that he did. Doesn't mean that they are bad people. There's a lot of good people in every belief and religion that you look at. So
absolutely. I think that'll be, and again, when you're starting off on those positive notes too, I feel like with children, like there's going to come a point where they may ask questions, you know, and we can give them a little bit more of the honesty of the bad things that did happen, and that's totally fine, and that's going to be something that's going to be age appropriate, you know, and wait till they're ready to hear some of those things, and I'm sure it will come up. And again, we feel like if we're honest and transparent with them about everything, then if they hear something or if they want to know more, they're going to come to us and we'll be able to explain it to them.
Exactly, yeah.
Or they'll watch our YouTube channel.
Yeah. I'm just kidding. They can get all the information there, yeah.
We'll be like, we don't want to talk about this all again, so you know what? Just start at the beginning and just go watch our YouTube channel. I'm just kidding.
Well, maybe one day they will. That's kind of one of the reasons we're doing this, is I kind of want it to be there as a journal almost, in a way, for people that are curious, and for our own family, and you know, if they want to see it as well. But I was also going to point out, just to answer another question people have had regarding our kids, they refer to us as mommy and daddy.
Oh, yes.
So a lot of people wonder, because I was raised that it was taught me that it's respectful to only call your parents mother and father, but No, it's mommy and daddy to us, and that's what we want. That's what we're okay with. So
Yeah,
yeah.
we're okay. We love it. Love it. They're so cute.
Yeah, yeah.
So much fun. But if you want to hear more about what it was like for Sam growing up in polygamy or have more questions for us, please leave your comments below. We love being able to answer more questions in
Yep.
these videos. And if you want to hear more, then please like and subscribe. And we'll try to answer all those questions you have.
Yes, and thank you all once again for all of your comments and questions, and we look forward to talking to you soon.
Thanks. Talk to you soon.